Tonight we're going to talk about Red Famine by Applebaum. Now, the event specifically referred to is the Holodomor. I might be pronouncing that totally incorrectly, but we'll give it a shot. Holodomor. And it basically refers to the period between 1932 and 34, more or less in that area, when the Soviet Union, under Stalin, decided that 4 million Ukrainians would be better off dead. And how they chose to go about this is through starvation. Men, women, children. And in their death throes, they happen to inconvenience anyone. They will be confined to their villages. First, take their land away. Make them employees, totally dependent upon the state. Remove all food from their homes. Take all food out of the entire village and collective farm, because that's for distribution via Moscow. No independence for you whatsoever. And you're tied to your collective farm because you have to justify stepping foot out of your village. You had to keep yourself out of the fields that you worked, just in case you might get a little leftover potato left behind by the tractor. Oh yes, they took rotten food. They didn't hesitate. Didn't hesitate at all. Some people were so, towards the end, the police would get called an average of 10 times a week. Either somebody did cannibalize, or they feared being cannibalized by a member of their family. That is how gruesome it got. And there was no hiding things. There was no theft. There was no sabotage by gulag and anti-Bolshevik, forces coming in from the outside. Nor was the weather bad. There was no drought. There was no flood. There was no tornadic activity. There were no inconvenient frosts or anything. The weather is rather reasonable, given for that far north. Nevertheless, that was the story put out. The Ukrainian farmers couldn't be trusted. So you poked and prodded. You crashed in their roofs. You lifted their floors. You broke through their walls. You took everything you could take that they might possibly consume as nourishment. Take away the family cow. Take away the kitchen garden. All the stuff they had previously been permitted. But you kept making it more and more and more. And now this year we want 170,000 tons. When the people are too weak to get out of bed. When their skin is all yellow and shiny and swollen because they're dying of malnutrition. They're starving to death. And you did it deliberately. because you wanted to create obedient, sheep-like people who would never question, never ask those inconvenient, and just accept whatever lie you told them this week. And then when that wasn't sufficient, when the party members who were in charge actually got a little more familiar with people and began feeling sorry for them, oh, then we'll have purges to assume get rid of those nationalistic, anti-Soviet feelings that you had, your bourgeoisie, tenderness for the poor people, as they sneeringly said. And that's what they did again in 2014. When little Putin started talking about, oh, the Nazis in Ukraine. I might put it over to people. If you believe a word out of Putin's mouth, you're a fool. Even the Soviets don't do that. They know better. And they know it's dangerous to talk. So you're not going to hear anything from a Russian. But from a Ukrainian, yeah, you sure are. They're not friends. They know Putin. And they don't trust him an inch. Well, they should have just immediately said, let me check on something, before they signed that last little, agreement with Russia. Just go over and say, NATO, come on, quick. Because then they wouldn't be in the position they are now. Putin only attacks people he thinks he can conquer. Well, he may have been off a bit more than he thought this time. We shall hope so. We will try to help. But if you really want to be an effective helper, read Famine. There is very little humor in this one. And there's no mystery about these murders. It is quite clear who did what, to whom, and why. So, if you have a strong stomach for realpolitik, this is a book you should be reading. It is very much germane to the present issues in that region. So, I hope this helps. Thank you for watching, and please do come again.